Колеги, вітаю вас. Розпочинаємо робочий день.
Morning, colleagues. We will inform you about the situation in ATO area, and we will have Anatoliy Stelmakh on Skype with us, and then I'll invite acting spokesperson of the General Staff of Armed Forces of Ukraine, Vladyslav Seleznyov. Thank you. Morning. So, happy to see you. This briefing I have to inform you about the following. President of Ukraine, the Chief Commander of Armed Forces of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko, with his decree 93 for courage, heroism, high professionalism, and in defending sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine, granted a high name of the hero of Ukraine to the commander of 128 separate Guard Mountain Infantry, Turkestan Transcarpathian, twice Red Flag Brigade of Armed Land Forces of Ukraine, Colonel Serhiy Shabdal. Under his leadership, soldiers defended Debaltseve and didn't give up any position and didn't move back even one step, despite heavy conditions of their service. The majority of military men of the brigade received different kind of awards. The same day, Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Stepan Poltorak, General Colonel Stepan Poltorak, met relatives of soldiers, families of the soldiers of Brigade 128, volunteers and representatives of Sikh organizations, and they discussed the situation in Ukraine. The Deputy Minister of Ukraine, Petro Mikhin, had a meeting with the Speaker of Committee on Political Issues and Democracy of the Parliamentary Assembly of Europe, Kristina Zelenkova. They discussed the issue, the current situation in the ATO area, and facts of that there are Russian Federation forces on the territory of Ukraine. Petro had underlined that Ukraine, as a European state, is responsible for international commitments, and despite systemic abuse by Russian Federation and by legal formations of Minsk agreements, the leadership of Ukraine directs all its efforts to stop bloodshed, peaceful solution, and prevention of one more frozen conflict in Donbass. At the same time, militants cynically and rudely, cruelly shell upon the positions of armed forces of Ukraine and on civilian facilities. The main and the only source of military conflict in Ukraine, in this Ukraine, that is the Russian Federation, officially declaring that they are interested in peaceful solution of the conflict and distancing itself from self-announced LNR and DNR, Russia, secretly provides weapons and trains militants and on their own territory even. A big part of troops of Russian Federation hiding and secretly present on the territory of Ukraine, and they participate in battles. At the same time, on the territory of Transnistria and Crimea, they train mercenaries. Those grounds are used by Russia to train terrorists and reserve troops for hybrid war. The same day, Petro had a meeting with the delegation of a British group of Interparliamentary Union, headed by the head of multi-party group on contacts with the Ukraine, Parliament of the UK, and Northern Ireland, John Whittingdale. They discussed cooperation between defense ministries of the country's military political situation in Ukraine, and also material support to armed forces of Ukraine. Petro underlined that the Ministry of Defense highly values initiatives of British government in the field of helping Ukrainian armed forces and supports cooperation in military, political, and technical dimensions. The pros Cooperation between Ministry of Defense of Ukraine and Britain include development capabilities and command, cooperation in the field of topography, mapography, and geosystems, participation in operations to solve crisis, and in multinational trainings. In the end of January, Armed Forces Ukraine received from the UK humanitarian aid for $920,000 over the years, and they receive helmets, bulletproof jackets, first aid kits, sleeping bags, and etc. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine is interested to continue to receive from countries' partners means of protection, technical and medical solutions, and tents and suits, water and fireproof suits. In the end of the meeting, the Deputy Minister of Defense expressed his certitude that Interparliamentary Union, as one of the oldest international organizations, will make objective assessment of military political situation in Ukraine, and will initiate concrete steps by the Parliament or the countries of members of that organization. In the Vinnytsia region, representatives of the Command of Air Force of Ukraine, headed by the acting Chief of Staff of General Gomora, they had a meeting with the delegation of Air Force of Canada. Officers of Armed Forces of Ukraine discussed with Canadian colleagues the issues of expert assessment of the safety of flights, and they shared their experience and methods about flights of and land operations. During the meeting, Ukrainian and Canadian Canadians discussed the structure and task of security units of Air Force of Ukraine and Royal Air Force of Canada. Today, Canadian delegation will visit one of the military units of transport aviation of Armed Forces of Ukraine, of Air Force of Ukraine. That's a brief information as to activity of Armed Forces of Ukraine during the last day. Minister of Defense, and I'll give the floor to Anatoliy Stelmakh, who is a spokesperson of ATO, and he will inform us about the situation there. Anatoly, greetings from Kiev. So you can how give us the information. From Debaltseve, more than 90% of our armed forces moved out, and the dislocation of Ukrainian armed forces demonstrated that there was no encirclement, and units take just better positions to defend the country. And we have less of shelling during the last day. Yesterday, gangs and bandits says they shot three times on board the position of ATO. In addition, Zolota, twice they shelled using mortars, and on Samhiria they shelled using artillery. In Donetsk region, terrorists and using Grad system, they shelled upon Avdiivka 5 times and 4 times on Opitne, 2 times on Pisky and Vodine. So also during the last day, near Shirokina, they were shelling using tanks, and they were shelling upon our partisans, and they hailed. And they shelled using artillery and mortars on that village. And ATO, there were 46 cases of abuse of ceasefire. 14 times the enemy used Grad system, 21 artillery and mortars. At the same time, even this night, intensity of shelling is less, but bandits There was shelling upon opening Avdiivka using ground systems. And to Krymsk in Luhansk region, Shirokino, and near Mariupol, they used small arms. Thank you very much, Anatoly, for the information. Colleagues, your questions to our spokespersons. Morning. Tell me about, do you have information about Mariupol? Because at night we received information that there was shelling from the sea upon Mariupol. Is it true, and what's happening there? We don't have that information. There was shelling upon Shirokino, and I gave you 3 times they shelled upon just on that town. Thank you very much, but please, there is a problem with communication. Could you repeat? So it was not clear. On Mariupol. Near Mariupol, they were shelling upon Shirokino. 13 times there was shelling upon that the town or village, and they used also tanks. So they are going to Shirokino. That's the main target for them. Thank you, Anatoly. About Debaltseve, you said 90% of the staff moved out. Could you give more details about that city? You have to be more concrete. What's there? What is happening there? Now, operation of withdrawal of our troops from Debaltseve on the final stage. We don't, because of security, we will not inform you, but there is a corridor, a special corridor that is defended by our artillery and units. And in the end of the operation of withdrawal of our forces, will form journalists. Thank you very much, Anatoly. Vladyslav, thank you. Take care. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye. As to the situation in ATO, there will be a briefing of Colonel Andriy Lysenko at 12:30, and he will tell you more about ATO situation.